What's up, Lego builders? My Lego city of Moenia Prime has a big problem. It's in shambles. I've had a lot of fun writing the lore and building the armies that are fighting in it, but I fear the city itself is falling behind and not getting the attention it deserves. I don't want to reach the end of this story and have a half-finished ghost town for the finale, so today I'm going to tackle the heart of Moenia Prime and build Lantern Industries, the place that started this whole mess. So if you're ready, don't forget to open fire on that like button, and let's get building. Let's kick things off by going over some of the spoils of my recent and not so recent Bricklink raids. Most notably and expensively are these dark orange elbow pipe pieces. I saw Brickcraft use them in one of his city building updates not too long ago and thought they would look so cool in my power plant. You can snap them together to create pretty much any shape you want, and the dark orange coloration is subtle yet interesting, perfect for a Lego city landscape. However, they're pricey and hard to find, and to make matters worse, my order didn't even arrive in time, so I had to use these brick-built pipes for the water silo instead, but they worked out fine, so I'll leave them be and use the pipes elsewhere. This next part is now my favorite sticker piece of all time. It's a flight path for an airplane traveling to the island of Voya Nui, home to one of my all-time favorite Lego themes, Bionicle. This means the island now canonically belongs in the Lego City universe, since it came in one of the numerous Lego City plane sets, which is so cool. Everything else is just an assortment of random stickers I'll be using for different companies, shops, and restaurants, but most of these are just going to end up as random advertisements, clogging up the bridges and walkways of Moenia Prime, calling out temptations to the weary traveler like the siren song of old. The entire city of Moenia Prime is raised up on large plateaus with the buildings and walkways up top and the roads below. This helps separate the foot and road traffic and keeps things more organized. But that does mean every time I want to make a new building, I have to start by building a plateau. Many of you have seen a few of these come together now, and this one is mostly the same except for a secret on one wall, which we'll get to later. Given the fact that Lantern Industries was on the bleeding edge of new tech and gadgets, the heads of the company were very secretive even before the events of the robot uprising. Only authorized personnel were allowed in, pretty much all being employees, and bring your children to work day was definitely not a thing. In fact, the company sought out mostly single people for any job openings, so their secrets would be even less likely to leak out. As a result, maintenance areas like this that led into the complex were eventually all blocked and sealed off, so the only way in and out were the garages and front door. Not exactly legal, but Lantern Industries brought in so much money and commerce, the leaders of Moenia Prime turned a blind eye to these seemingly unimportant actions, which really came back to bite them when the whole complex went dark and strange, aggressive robots and mechs started pouring out. This plateau has seen some combat and as such is pretty beat up. I still need room for minifigs, buildings, and I need it to be structurally sound, so I can't damage it too much, but I'm really happy with how it's looking so far. I only tiled off the edges and around the damage because most of the middle will be home to Lantern Industries headquarters, and I'm not sure how much space it'll take up yet, but I want it to be big, and a massive skyscraper needs an impressive entrance, so I'm going to build a series of large steps leading up to the building. I made the stairs first so I would know how much space to leave for the skyscraper, and to be honest, I'm kind of avoiding it. I have a rough idea of what it'll look like, but I haven't tackled a building this large and detailed since the Republic Senate building I made back in 2023. So when I feel overwhelmed like this, I've learned it's best to just start on something easy to get me in the building mood and wake up those creative juices. Once the stairs are in, I can add the foundation for the building and tile off the rest of the plateau. Let me know in the comments if I should add more battle damage, and if so, what should I do? All the plateaus are connected via bridges. I designed some cool glass paneled ones a while back, finally getting to use the trans purple window panes I've been hanging onto, and now it's time to build one of the broken ones. This one was blown up intentionally to keep unwanted individuals from accessing the plateau from certain directions. I used a bunch of wedge plates to make one end look broken and damaged. I've come to learn that making good looking battle damage is a combination of smooth lines and jagged edges. I create the main breakpoint with the wedge plates, then add slopes and plate to represent the more jagged odds and ends dangling off the side. I'm glad I finally get to practice some broken bridges because I want to have quite a few of them busted up, spread throughout the city, and maybe one or two have mobile bridges thrown across as HADF forces assault an enemy held plateau. After the remnant of the bridge is done, it can be attached to the panel and we'll get a dusting of broken glass where the panel shattered. Any structure is only as strong as its foundation, so I took my time with this plateau, making sure everything came together right and was structurally sound because it's going to hold one of the tallest skyscrapers I've ever built. But beyond that, it's probably the coolest looking plateau I've built so far. The battle damage is more extensive and more will be added as time goes on, given the fact that this is the epicenter of the fight. The HADF are doing everything they can to get inside and figure out what exactly the protectorate faction is and how it came to be. As such, the robots have destroyed and barricaded barricaded certain access points with whatever they can get their hands on, halting any advancements on foot, while mechs and other walkers relentlessly watch the skies, creating an impenetrable dome around Lantern Industries. But every vault has a weakness, and this one is in the form of an abandoned maintenance entrance, which was covered up long ago, forgotten over the passage of time. That is, until schematics of the plateau and building were being studied by HADF Command, and a footnote revealed the presence of a small door that hadn't shown up in any surveillance runs. It's listed to be on the far left wall somewhere, so a commando team is currently being briefed on a daring false offensive and infiltration mission to find and enter the maintenance tunnel to get eyes and ears inside the cryptic tomb that has become Lantern Industries. I think it's about time to build the actual skyscraper. It's part of a small campus of buildings that makes up Lantern Industries complex and will be located at the back of my mock in the tech district. This is where the skyscrapers sit, and so far I've only built one other, the police station. I think it looks pretty good, but I want to make this next one look different, more ominous and imposing. I am going to reuse this design for the base though, since it's simple and looks good. I had a prototype ready to go, then it pulled a Gandalf in my hands and ended up looking more like Sauron's tower after Sam and Frodo's visit. This design is a simple brick-built base since that's all I've been able to think up so far. Out of all 5 buildings I've made, it's the foundation or bottom floor of each one that's been the hardest to design because I just can't figure out what to make. I don't want to do 4 smooth gray walls because this is a sci-fi city of the future. I've got mechs roaming the streets and apartments with multicolored pods. I need something a little more detailed than that. I saw different people made the very bottom of their skyscrapers look different than the rest of the building, but it's usually still a fairly simple design, so I just decided that's the way to go until I can think of something better. I have learned that adding designs in front of the walls adds some texture and makes them look more interesting, so I built some symmetrical shapes using slope to decorate the outside of Lantern Industries. Whatever you want to call them, support pillars or ornaments, they make a big difference, and I think I've started to establish an aesthetic for the architecture of Moenia Prime. Now I can build the most intimidating part, the actual skyscraper section. I have one main goal with this: make it as tall as possible. I would love for this skyscraper to be over 2 feet tall by the time it's done, because I want something that'll absolutely dominate the skyline of Moenia Prime. And I think one of the best ways to hammer in the ominous vibe I'm looking for is to have a mostly windowless exterior. The sides will have some windows, but they'll be heavily tinted and always lit from the inside. I'm using trans dark green cylinders for the glass because I don't have that color anywhere else in the city, and I think it'll help this building really stand out. Those are connected to 1x-plate, and when all lined up along my frame, create a long window that tapers at the top. The bottom is capped off with a slab of gray tile. I like adding patches of tile like this to the walls since the designs created from the different pieces create a cool effect that'll elevate my skyscraper. I also added some light bluish gray pieces for a little contrast. That's about as ornate as this skyscraper will get because the front and back will just be 2 massive monolith-like slabs of gray. I'm taking a page from brutalist architecture, which makes use of large chunks or sections of cement and stone to create an imposing structure. The heads of Lantern Industries wanted anyone who came by to be reminded who the king of tech was and quiver under the shadow of this behemoth of a building. I'm making good use of the light bluish gray 6x6 tiles, which have come in clutch time and time again over the course of my different mock projects. I want to avoid building a flat rectangle, however, so the top will angle inwards, creating a blocky dome of sorts. This is the tallest structure I've built in years, and it's getting me excited. There's just something so fun about creating a massive structure out of Lego, especially one as complete as this will be. I attached long angled side panels to the main one, finishing the shape I wanted for the front and back. Now it's time to assemble the different puzzle pieces and see if my vision for Lantern Industries can be achieved. I had just enough time and pieces to get most of the shell done to give us a good idea of what the finished skyscraper will look like. While building, I kept thinking this was going to look too boxy and plain, but I feel like the shaping turned out pretty good thanks to the angled sides of the front and back panels. I especially like how those overlap the side windows, creating an overhang that gives the sides some depth and detail and make it feel a little bit more futuristic. But I'm not happy with where the panels and foundation meet. I'm thinking about creating a bowl-shaped ring of plates that will flare out, connecting to the panels, which I think will look much better. The gray slabs need some detail work, and who knows what's going to happen with the top. I'll just have to cross that bridge once everything else is done. But all things considered, this is on the right track, and now that the design's fleshed out, I can quickly build the rest of Lantern Industries headquarters. The interior and its secrets may be coming to light soon, though. HADF forces are gathering, prepping for what will be the most important operation of the war thus far. A full-on attack of the plateau, hopefully causing enough of a diversion to allow the commando strike team to either sneak into a clever trap or a forgotten weak point. That's a wrap for this video. Don't forget to let me know what you think of the mock in the comments, and until next time, happy building.